Welcome. This is the November update for the Florida FAIRtax Educational Association. I'm Ron Malero, and this is my wife,
I'm Elaine.
And we are both officers with the Florida FAIRtax Educational Association. And thanks for tuning in. This video format is taking place of some of the local meetings, because instead of you going to a meeting, we're bringing the meeting to you. Anyways,
we're making it convenient, guys.
Yeah. So what's going on the national level? I mean, you know, some people say, well, what's going on with the FAIRtax? I never hear anything about it. Well, there's good news around, all right? First off, I'm going to read this. This is from a report from the national group. This is from the Americans for Fair Taxation, notes of the November 21st informal telephone conference of the Board of Delegates. And I'm going to get this one paragraph. Alabama. Chuck Bailey has been spending time in the state capital, Montgomery, meeting with over 20 different entities, including Business Association of Alabama, bar associations, medical associations, and lobbyists representing 50 to 75 different clients to push the Alabama Economic Freedom Act, which is the Alabama version of their FAIRtax. Yep. Alabama has they've pre-filed legislation for the new session next January, and if it passes and is signed by the governor, and the governor said that he is in favor of it, they will have their own state version of the FAIRtax, including a prebate.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Okay. Okay, so Chuck has also been meeting with Convention of States people and is scheduled to meet again on December 11th. Chuck and these folks will plan out different venues for town halls, which will bring in legislators from around the areas. So
I think we got a new Energizer Bunny there.
Yeah, it sounds like
He's really been busy.
He's been busy. And, you know, we don't expect that all volunteers have to be that involved. I mean,
it'd be nice if you were, but
you can just do something like an outgoing message on your answering machine. Hi, we're in favor of the FAIRtax. Hi, this is Ron and Elaine. Please leave a message. And by the way, we're in favor of the FAIRtax. Hope you are too. You can learn more at fairtax.org. You can do something as simple as that.
Simple as that. Or one of my favorites is when you get junk mail and they give you a present. It's called a pre-addressed stamped envelope. I'll get it out. And I take whatever's on the inside and I throw it out and I fill it up with FAIRtax. And I put it back in and I send it off. It's a great way to get rid of all of those political surveys that you get. Forget the surveys, all they want is money anyway. And just fill it up with FAIRtax stuff and send it back to them. You get even for getting junk mail, which is great. And somebody's got to open it.
Yep.
So somebody's going to see the FAIRtax information.
Great. Okay, so it's very simple. You can get very involved in a minor way, or you can get involved in a heavy way. It's up to you. But we do ask you to get involved and promote the FAIRtax in whatever way you can. All right, whatever you have time for.
One nice thing about Georgia is that their statewide FAIRtax bill that they have pre-filed.
Oh, that's Alabama.
Alabama, eliminates their state income tax.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Texas.
Yeah, Texas recently, you may have seen this on the news, recently passed a constitutional amendment that forever bans a state income tax. They never had an income tax, but they wanted to be sure that they never will have an income tax.
That's right.
So they passed a constitutional amendment to their state constitution, no income tax ever. That's a big step. I mean, that's a message to all the others. I mean, their governor said, yeah, that's a message to all those states that have high income taxes. Come here to Texas because we're open for business.
Yeah, Florida also has a ban on income tax in their state constitution. So
yep. So
that's one of
good.
the reasons we're growing and Texas is growing, and those states that have multiple taxes are losing people.
Yeah, if you go to FairtaxGuys.com and you look back a few months, you'll see that the Fairtax Guys did an episode entitled How Money Walks. And
Great episode.
Specifically, we addressed why money and people are leaving the high-tax states and coming to the more reasonable states, with especially the states that have no income tax. That's a good episode to take a look at.
And you can get all of those at FAIRtaxGuys.com.
Yep. Amazon Smile. Since it is the season, we're...
Oh, wait a minute. 33 days, guys.
You have to understand that my wife becomes 9 years old at Christmas time.
Yes, and I always will be.
Yes, and anyways, but there is a way that you can help us out with your Christmas shopping. Yes. The Amazon Smile program. We encourage everybody to buy local whenever possible, but you know, shopping online is becoming more and more popular and more convenient. We do it. I mean, we do as much shopping downtown, but we do it. So if you're going to buy something from Amazon, please go to Amazon Smile. Look that up there, Amazon Smile.
It's smile.amazon.com.
Yep. And when you join it, you can you can identify the Florida FAIRtax Educational Association as the registered charity. We are a 501c3. We are a charitable organization, nonprofit, nonpartisan.
That's right.
And it's very easy to do this because when one of our board members, and we had our annual meeting a couple of years ago, and he mentioned this, I actually got on while he was talking about it. It took me like 2 minutes to sign up for the thing.
That's right.
It was great. So that is a way, if you're going to do some shopping at Amazon, well, then, as Elaine said, go to smile.amazon.com, do your shopping there, and the Florida FAIRtax will get a small stipend for it because
That's right.
we do have expenses. We have recently entered into a contract with a company that's going to help us promote ourselves, promote the Florida FAIRtax on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And so these folks, we looked at several companies. We found this company in which the owner of the company was very familiar with the FAIRtax already, so I thought that was good. So
if you do go on Amazon, remember that this book, The America's Big Solution, that was written by Terry Tibbetts, who's one of our volunteers, and of course the two FAIRtax books, they're all on Amazon, and they make great stocking stuffers, guys, and gifts to your relatives and friends.
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff in the logo store as well.
Okay, yeah, FAIRtaxLogoStore.org, FAIRtaxLogoStore.org, which is, even though it's a store for the national group, it's located here in Florida. And you can go on there. There's all kinds of things you can get. You can get these nice glass tumblers, and I'll put a graphic up. All right. So you get a set of these. And then when your friends come over for dinner, you make sure you serve the drinks in this.
That's right.
And what's the FAIRtax?
Oh, let me give you some information about that.
Yeah, just so happens.
And if you happen to have a town hall.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
These are wonderful.
Take these to your town hall meeting, all right, and make sure that they understand what you're in favor of. Okay, you can get these palm cards. Pocket cards. They have basic, well, a little bit more than basic information. They got some good information about the FAIRtax and some websites on the back and so forth. Buy a packet of them like this, okay? And always have those around. Like when we go out for dinner, we sign the check. We always leave one of these with the check.
That's their second tip.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
So, okay. All right.
They have buttons, shirts, hats, tote bags, grocery bags, all sorts of different things. They've brought back the umbrellas, which are very popular and very nice.
Yeah, I'll put the image of the umbrella up here. Okay.
We really enjoy them.
Yep.
And one thing they do have that I haven't mentioned before is the fact that they now have earrings.
Yes.
They have FAIRtax earrings, and the next time I do this program with my husband, I will be wearing them because I just ordered a pair.
Okay. And we have new yard signs. Now, I'm going to put a graphic of this up because it's kind of unwieldy, but take a look at this. New yard signs. They're bigger than the old ones. I think they stand out better. Okay. So, especially
I think
when
they'll
we
get
get
much
into
more
political
attention.
season next
Yeah.
year. Yeah, those are going to be very important. So there's lots of good stuff in the FAIRtax logo store, fairtaxlogostore.org. Go on in there, look around. Certainly you're going to find something in there that appeals to you, and demonstrate your support for the fair tax. It's very important. Okay.
If you're a secret Santa, give them a stocking full of FAIRtax stuff. That'd be good.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would be.
Got buttons and all sorts of
I want to
stuff.
move along here.
Yes.
We have, for FAIRtax Power Radio, we have a new production schedule, or I should say a new publication schedule. Everything pertaining to FAIRtax Power Radio is going to be published on Facebook, on Periscope, on YouTube, the podcasts. Everything is going to be done on Tuesday. It will be live streamed to facebook.com/FAIRtax. In other words, it's the AFFT's Facebook page, because they have the biggest draw. And so our episode is going to be live streamed every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, Florida time. Okay, well, most of Florida time.
Yes, most of Florida.
Except for the Panhandle. Right, but anyways, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then it's going to show up on YouTube. There's going to be podcasts of it. I actually do a sneak preview on Periscope. If any of you are familiar with Periscope, that gets on early in the day. But all those forms of FAIRtax Power Radio are now on Tuesday. And then the Chairman's Report, which is a part of FAIRtax Friday. Now, the national group, the Americans for Fair Taxation, have been sending out a FAIRtax Friday email for a long time, years.
Yes, long time.
All right, and in there is the Chairman's Report. And so what we've been doing for since the beginning of the year, since I think March, Bob Paxton, my FAIRtax Power Radio partner, he records the Chairman's Report. He makes it a very professional sounding recording.
Very good.
Because he was a radio DJ, and he knows how to do that stuff. And then I make a podcast out of it and a simple YouTube, and that's also published on Friday. So Chairman's Report on Friday, FAIRtax Power Radio on Tuesday, and share those things. Make sure all your friends and relatives know about these shows, and that's how they can catch up. And the next time, next month when we do an update, then we'll have something. We're going to replace the webinar with something else. We don't know what that something else is, but it will involve Jade Wally, who's a CPA from Colorado, our friend, who's very knowledgeable about, I mean, he's a CPA and he's a huge FAIRtax fan. So we'll be doing something. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but we'll be doing something. We'll let you know next month. And finally,
PopFox.
Yes, PopFox. All right. You can demonstrate your support for the FAIRtax by going to PopFox, POPVOX.com. You have to log in with your name and address, because that way the system knows what congressional district you're in, which means it'll know who your representative is and who your two senators are. And then you can go on there and any legislation at all that's pending, say H.R. 25.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you can put in H.R. 25, the FAIRtax Act of 2019, and you can tell why. First off, you can click you support or you don't support. You're all going to support, right? Okay, you support that legislation. I don't think you'd be watching this video if you didn't support the legislation. But that's a way to let the Congress critters know of your support for the FAIRtax, because Congress, people in Congress do look at this site, because they can look down into their individual district and find out on any proposed legislation, how is that faring in my district? So you want to go on the PopFox and make sure you weigh in on FAIRtax Act, H.R. 25, and you can type out, you can give reasons why you support it.
That's right.
Do it in your own language.
Be polite.
Yeah. And so anyways, PopFox is a great site, and you can look up any pending legislation. There's all kinds of ways to look that up.
If you find another so-called reform of the income tax, or a flat tax, or wanting a VAT tax, you could go in there and tell them why you don't want that and you'd rather have a fair tax. So
Okay.
there's, you know, you can do the pros and cons.
I happened to look up the flat tax on PopFox yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a proposal for a flat tax. It has 0 co-sponsors. So,
All right.
so anyways,
That says a
but
lot.
you can go in there and say, I'm not in favor of the flat tax because it won't stay flat. I mean, anybody, you know, anybody who says that they're in favor of the flat tax, as my wife always does, you ask them one simple question.
Yep.
How long do you think it'll stay flat? And they kind
To
of...
this day, I have not received one answer. They usually stop in their tracks and then give me this sheepish little grin and walk away.
Yeah, that's about it.
Because they can't answer that.
No, because they know the flat tax will not stay flat. So
It wouldn't stay flat. Probably from the time it passed Congress to the time the president would sign it into law, there would be at least 15 different changes
yeah,
proposed.
yeah. We looked
I mean,
today.
it's ridiculous.
We looked on Congress.gov, and we looked up. You can go in the search bar, put in quotes Internal Revenue Code, and the reason you do that is because most of the pending legislation for changes to the tax code start with to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. So if you put in quotes Internal Revenue Code and do a search, you'll come up. This morning we came up with 1,239 proposals to change the tax code.
And Congress has not been in session a full year. This is just since January.
Yeah, so it's not a good situation. Congress is constantly trying to change this tax code, and of course, if they've got lobbyists in there,
Right.
which Mr. or Mrs. Congressman, if you support this proposal, you'll find a nice contribution to your campaign coffers.
Money, money.
Yeah, so anyway, it's not a good situation. So we want to keep this short. We don't want to keep you too long. We'll have another update next month. Can I think of anything else?
All I can think of is to wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I know I'm very thankful for everyone who listens in and supports the fair tax. And 33 more days.
Until Christmas. Can you imagine what you'll be like next month? Yeah, okay. All right, so that's going to do it. As Mark Levin always says on his shows, that's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.